What if I told you that every single breadcrumb Marvel has dropped across multiple films, is actually pointing toward one of the most jaw-dropping plots in MCU history? Because right now, sitting on the internet, there is a theory so coherent, so perfectly stitched together from real insider reports, that once you hear it, you will not be able to unsee it. And this is Avengers Doomsday, where today we are connecting every single dot, so buckle up because your mind is about to be completely rearranged. And let's go back to that Fantastic Four first steps post-credit scene where Doom walks into the Baxter building. And here's the thing, nobody really stopped to think about. Sue Storm doesn't flinch, she doesn't panic, she's not scared. And that tells us everything, because Doom isn't arriving as an enemy. He's arriving as someone the Fantastic Four already know, and maybe even trust to a degree. And according to multiple insider reports, Doom is actually the first person in the entire multiverse to have witnessed an incursion firsthand and truly understand what it means. So when he walks through that door, he's not there to conquer, he's there to warn. And he sits down with Reed Richards and tells him something that even Galactus couldn't prepare them for, that the entire multiverse is collapsing and the source of that collapse is hiding in another universe entirely. And Reed being Reed, brilliant, stubborn, always needing to be the smartest person in the room, prepares his spacecraft and the Fantastic Four, Doom, and his Harbingers all board together heading toward the source of the incursion. But here's where it gets genuinely emotional, because that source leads them straight to Steve Rogers, because Steve never actually stayed in the past after returning the Infinity Stones in Endgame. He parked himself in an alternate universe living his quiet life with Peggy. And that anomaly, that single act of a tired old soldier wanting just a little piece, is what cracked the multiverse open. And when the team arrives and tells him the weight of that moment is going to be absolutely devastating, because Steve Rogers, the man who always sacrificed everything, finds out that the one time he chose himself, it cost the entire multiverse. And he joins them immediately with no hesitation. And on their way back toward Earth 616, they pick up one more heavyweight in Thor, who has been out in deep space sensing something deeply wrong and desperately trying to get love to safety before everything falls apart. But now here's where Doom pulls the rug out from under all of them, because long before any of this, before he ever approached the Fantastic Four, Doom had already been casting rune magic quietly and patiently, trying to trace the fundamental energy holding the multiverse's structure together. And on that ship, surrounded by heroes who think they're all on the same side, his spell finally lands, and the source of the magic holding the entire multiverse alive turns out to be Loki. The god of stories himself has been quietly and invisibly keeping the threads of reality from unraveling. And Doom doesn't share this with anyone. He confronts Reed, calls out his ego one final time, and walks away, leaving his Harbingers with two brutal orders, where some go to the X-Men's universe to capture powerful beings, and the rest stay behind to eliminate the heroes. But Doctor Strange, who has been hiding among the Harbingers the entire time, makes his move. He removes the threat, warns the team, and splits the mission in three directions, where Strange himself goes after Wanda and Clea to stop them from destroying the X-Men's universe. Steve and Thor race toward the TVA to reach Loki before Doom does, and the Fantastic Four head to Earth to assemble every hero still standing. But when Steve and Thor finally arrive at the TVA, they are too late, because Doom has already taken Loki's powers and vanished. And Thor, standing in the wreckage of yet another moment where he couldn't save his brother, has never felt heavier in his entire existence. And that grief becomes fuel as he steps away, calls out to Odin, and returns with something ancient and unstoppable behind him. Meanwhile, on Earth, when the Avengers, Thunderbolts, Wakanda, Talokan, and the X-Men all see Steve Rogers step forward as their leader again, there is a collective exhale across the entire MCU, because when Steve leads, people believe they can win. And his order is simple and brutal. Thor and Sentry go first, hit hardest, and hit without mercy. The destination is Latveria. The mission is Doctor Doom, and the battle that follows, the Battle of Latveria, will be the most ambitious sequence Marvel has ever attempted, ending with one man standing in the silence of a dead multiverse. And that man has a metal mask and absolutely no regrets. And look, this theory isn't just speculation.